gotta go to New Orleans. They got I don't know if you like seafood or any of that type of stuff, but they got some good seafood. They got gumbo, they got grits, all that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I got to go down there. I ain't made my way down there to New Orleans, even though I'm like 4 hours away. So
From a driving distance?
yeah, I'm driving distance away from New Orleans, Biloxi, all that. So I
Yeah, man.
mean,
But
when
go
you're in
ahead.
Columbus, it's like you're drive like we're like from Montgomery, from here to Montgomery, it's like an hour and like 15 minutes to the nearest casino.
Mm-hmm.
So because ain't no gambling down here in Columbus, Georgia.
No. Yeah, you want to do that. I
Yeah,
mean,
ain't no gambling down here in Columbus, Georgia, so they ain't gonna let you gamble. So
but ain't the South? They pretty strict with the gambling shit in the South because I know you can't gamble in the South.
well, I mean, I can tell you why, quick story time, 30-second story time. The reason why it is like that in Columbus and right across, because we right across the bridge from this town called Phoenix City. Phoenix City used to be home of the mob, the
Oh,
Dixie mob. So yeah, the dudes used to have slot machines over there, and Al Capone himself used to come down here. Matter of fact, when you get a chance to go to the library, a library or something like that, go and get a movie called The Original Sin City, and it will be
mm,
Phoenix City. My mother's from Phoenix City, so yeah,
okay.
they had the Dixie mob over there. It wasn't these guys wasn't no joke neither. So and then the river is room, the Chattahoochee River down here that separates Georgia and Alabama. It's rumored there's so many bodies in that river you don't know what to do. Now we discover we got crocodiles in that damn thing. So ain't no telling who down there. Ain't no telling who down there.
God damn, that's some crazy ass shit, man.
Hey, ain't no telling what the hell down there. I used to run down there that damn river. Ever since they told me them damn crocodiles was down there. Plus I'm on my weight loss program too. They say, hey, crocodiles down there in that trail you be running down. I said, oh hell no. They finna come out the river, eat my fat ass.
Nah, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
That is crazy, but yeah, that's how come they outlaw gambling in the Columbus, Georgia area and the Phoenix City area. You
Mm.
have to go to Montgomery. You have to go to Montgomery like an hour, 15 minutes away if you want to go gamble, or Shorter, Alabama. That's what the gambling towns. Or the only gambling that we allow down south, as far as in Georgia, is the lottery. So
Okay. All right. We're gonna wait on Harrison in just a second while he's getting his dinner or whatever he's eating. But anyway, man, welcome to another episode of the Sports PSP podcast. I'm your boy Sports PSP. I got my man. He's always on the grind on Instagram and on TikTok from Columbus, Georgia. Undisputed world champ. How you doing, my brother?
I'm going good, man. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me once again.
Anytime, man. Anytime. We're gonna get with Harrison in just a second. Hopefully, we can get a couple more people on the show. But champ, let's talk about some college football picks. Let's talk about some of the big games heading into tomorrow. I got my Oklahoma Sooners. They're 12th in the nation, going up against third-ranked Texas. We all know the Red River rivalry. What's your thoughts on the game? Who do you have winning, and more?
Boomer Sooner. I'm going with the Sooners. My best friend
Wow.
is a Sooners fan. Plus, I think Dylan Gabriel's a hell of a lot better than people are giving him credit for. And I think eyes are on Texas because they want Texas to be back so bad. But I think that offense I mean, Dylan Gabriel just put on a clinic last week against the Cyclones.
He
So
did.
I believe truly that he has the potential to upset them. And plus, Oklahoma got defense this year, something they didn't have with Lincoln Riley. So they have full potential in order to beat them. So I'm taking Oklahoma with the upset, Boomer Sooner. So
This is going to be a tough one for me because as much as I love me some OU, matter of fact, I got my OU helmet right here.
ah,
That's Michigan and Oklahoma are my two favorite college football schools. But it's going to be a tough one, man, because again with Quinn Ewers and also that running back from Texas. So if
hmm
Oklahoma, if they can figure out a way to neutralize the run, and also take away Quinn Ewers' legs as well, because he can not only sling it, he can also run it as well. And
Mm-hmm.
then with Texas's defense, Texas, I will say so far, they have looked the best as far as college football in terms of the competition. They went on the road to Tuscaloosa. They beat Tuscaloosa. We saw what they did last week to Kansas. I think Texas will still win this one by at least 40 to 30, at least 40 to 30. And I'm being conservative because I don't want to put too much pressure on my Sooners, because again, I don't want to do that to them. How do you feel about with this college football playoffs, man? Because again, your Georgia Bulldogs are still there. I mean, you still got Michigan, you got Texas, the other fourth team in the nation. I keep forgetting. How do you feel about with this college football players, and how do you feel about Georgia? Because you got a big game tomorrow against
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky, who last week beat Florida, in which Kentucky's passing game didn't even have not even 70 yards.
Nope.
So how do you feel about it, man?
Honestly, the key to victory is neutralizing Ray Davis. That's the key to victory. And I don't know what the calls were last week, but we have got to stop that sputtering offense, because otherwise we're going to be 88 and out the gate soon. And then in the next couple of weeks, we do have Tennessee coming up. We just got past the number one defense by a hair last week, but that offense continues to sputter. But, of course, Brock Bowers is always going to make a clutch catch, but we can't rely on that every single game. But we have
Mm-hmm.
to get that offense together if we want to win. We will win by a touchdown. I'll give us 10 points on that game, but it won't be by a lot. It's really, I feel like really this year, and I said it on TikTok, I think it's really this year, it's get on the board and hold on for us. It's
Mm-hmm.
that old school football. Hey, man, get on the board. Let's play ball control, get your defense out here, and hold on. Because we're not world beaters like we were last year, especially but both our running backs got injured at the beginning of the season. It's been a disaster as far as offense is concerned. Not to mention, we lost our offensive coordinator to the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And now
So
he's doing, yeah.
that's why come Lamar Jackson is doing a lot better than he was last year. So those are two big losses. And Mike Bobo, I don't. He plays down to the competition, and that's going to get us in trouble, because you get into the playoffs, you're so used to playing down to the competition, you're not going to be used to doing anything else other than that.
Mm-hmm.
So, so
Yeah, I mean, I mean, and when you look at Georgia so far this season, to your point, champ, they haven't been playing as dominant as I thought they should be playing. I mean, they barely won that game against South Carolina. At one point, they were like down 14-3 in
hmm
half. And ironically, they came back and won that game. And then last week against Auburn, the best defense in the SEC, and they managed to get the job done. So how much concern do you have of Georgia on a scale of 1 to 10?
I have it's an 8.
Mm,
Especially, like I said, especially if that offense continues to sputter the way it has. It seems like they turn it up in the second half, but you can't keep relying on that. I knew we was in trouble the first game of the season when we was only beating these Division Three teams by only 7 points in the first quarter. That's the time in order to make the statement that this is the same dominance that we established over the course of the last 2 years. So with that sputtering offense, because the defense is good. The defense is keeping us in it every single time. They're not allowing any turnovers. I don't think we've allowed over 20 points this season thus far, if I'm not mistaken. But defense doing a hell of a job of keeping us in the game. We just got to score when we get the ball and cut out all of the conservative stuff. If you really look at it, the Atlanta Falcons offense and the Georgia Bulldogs offense, they both are one and the same. Just look at them. Look at Atlanta on Sunday and look at Georgia on Saturday. It's the same offense. I mean, I don't really think, and sometimes I don't believe neither coordinator trusts the quarterback too much, so they try to keep him out of bad situations. So they're gonna dick and dunk, and they're gonna try to run the ball as much as they can in order to keep him out of harm's way. But if you really look at that Atlanta offense, it's sputtering, and the Georgia Bulldogs offense is sputtering. The only difference is, uh, and there's really no difference. Defense is keeping Atlanta in there as well. So it's just like, hey, keep it. They keep the score low, get on the board, and hold on. That's how I believe they win it. but that's going to get us in trouble when we play Tennessee. If we don't contain Ray Davis tomorrow, that's going to get us in trouble tomorrow because that's not going to be acceptable.
All right. Harrison, can you hear us?
Yeah, I am.
We just talking about some college football picks. We just talked about Oklahoma versus Texas. That's one of the big games tomorrow. How do you feel about that game, the Red River rivalry? Who do you have winning, and more?
The Red River rivalry. I mean, in my opinion, I think the Red River rivalry is basically. I think it's a top 5, top 3, like best, like in all sports, in my opinion. Is it in Texas right now, or is it like?
Um, it's you mean at the Texas Stadium? No, they
Yeah.
usually play in some area around the Texas part, particularly like
Ooh,
Dallas or whatever. I know it's not at the Oklahoma or the Texas Stadium. It's just somewhere in Texas.
Okay.
But
and I heard about Baker Mayfield's going to be the celebrity guest picker, which I didn't like that at all because he's going to pick Oklahoma. I'm picking Texas. I'm picking Texas because I don't like Baker Mayfield at all.
That's their only reason.
Yeah, I hate them. I hate him. I don't care what people say.
Wait, Harrison, are you just saying that because Baker Mayfield played so bad in Carolina and now
Yes.
he's in Tampa Bay and playing so well?
Yes.
Understandable.
Yep, I'm picking Texas. I'm picking Texas. I forgot the wide receiver from what's his name from Texas. He's gonna be coming into this year's draft. He's gonna be a really good second round pick.
You mean Worthy?
Huh?
Xavier Worthy? Is that the wide receiver you referred to?
I think that's his name. I think he's gonna be really good in this game, and hopefully, maybe he can try to come to Carolina next year, but we'll see. And the one about Georgia, I'm not worrying about Georgia. I mean, it's like how can I say this? They always struggle in the beginning of the first quarter of the first half, and then they always just try like, you know what, this is time to dominate. That's pretty much what Georgia is. So
All right, let's talk about some other college football picks. Unfortunately for Harrison, I have to bring up the team that beat him last week, Notre Dame. They go on the road to face Louisville. Who do you have winning this one, Harrison?
People were really like, sorry, I have food in my mouth. So basically, people were really like, got so mad that we lost in Notre Dame, which that is really not true because Notre Dame's still a good football team. And Louisville, are they ranked right now?
Louisville, they're 25th in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time Louisville's been ranked since Lamar Jackson.
Probably around the time when he won the Heisman.
Damn, oh man, that's a tough one. I love Sam Hartman though. I think he's going to be a really solid quarterback in the NFL in the future. But that running back for Notre Dame, he's really solid. I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone from Louisville though. That's the thing. I mean, I'm gonna go with Notre Dame, but I'm gonna say 30. I'm gonna say 32-30. 32-30.
All right, champ. Who do you got?
They playing in South Bend?
No, it's at Louisville. Notre Dame going on the road.
30-17. Notre Dame will take it.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Notre Dame in this one, 27-17. 27-17 in this one. We got another college football game right here. 23rd LSU going up against 21st Missouri. LSU's coming off a tough loss last week to Ole Miss. Champ, who do you got?
I'm gonna just be real. I think Mizzou is undefeated. Are they playing in Mizzou right now?
Yes, they're playing at Mizzou.
I'm taking Mizzou.
Oh wow!
Because LSU can't stop nobody right now.
Their defense is jack.
Yeah, they cannot stop anybody. And I don't think Jaden Daniels and that team got another 50-point game in them. So, yeah, I'm taking Mizzou to go along with this one. They might come out of SEC West if you really want to be honest about it.
Mm-hmm. All right, Harrison, who you got?
I'm going LSU. I'm going LSU.
All right. And I'm gonna go with Missouri in this one. So let's move on to some NFL news. The Chicago Bears, they traded Chase Claypool to the Miami Dolphins. Miami receives a 2025 seventh round pick. Meanwhile, Chicago gets a 6th round pick in the 2025 draft. It was first reported by The Athletic. Champ, what's your thoughts about the trade? And do you see Chase Claypool resurrecting his career in South Beach?
How many receivers do Miami need at this point?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you got Roby Anderson, which they picked up from Carolina last year. You got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Now you bring up a fourth receiver in Chase Claypool. I mean, how many receivers do you need at this point? But I think, listen, not too many people, and peep this when I tell you, other than maybe Antonio Brown and Plexico Burris, not too many people go from Pittsburgh and make a name somewhere else. Look at the receiver. There's not too many receivers that leave Pittsburgh and do a lot. So can Chase Claypool do something about his career? Yes. But I don't really see him doing it. He had I believe that should have been and that's not all of his fault. It's not all of his fault. Chicago is a dumpster fire right now. But, the Steelers receivers, once they leave Pittsburgh, they're never the same again. So I could see him partially resurrecting his career, but not too much.
All right. And Harrison?
I mean, they just traded 2 chips, some pickled potato chips and some Cheetos. I mean, they have so many wide receivers. I don't know why they need another one. They got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Robbie Chosen. He changed his last name like 3 times more than touchdowns. I mean, and now you have Chase Claypool. Like, what the fuck are you gonna use with Chase Claypool? Is he your 4th wide receiver now?
Apparently,
bro. He needs to go somewhere like he needs a number 1 wide receiver, like maybe Carolina, maybe like New England. Honestly, I mean, whatever. I mean, if you want to be a ring chaser, I mean, that's it.
Well, one thing I will say for Chase Claypool, he can finally move on from Chicago. It's a mess right now in Chicago, despite the fact they humiliated my Commanders last night, 40-20. But we knew that the writing was on the wall with him leaving Chicago. I mean, Chicago right now is just a dumpster fire. Right now, unfortunately for Harrison, they have the number 1 overall pick. And again, if Caleb Williams decides to enter the draft, the Bears, of course, they're going to try to draft him. That is if he decides to come out of there. But hold on. We got another man on our panel. Bra Sports. How you doing, man?
Yeah, what up?
What up, man? We just talking some college football picks. Early on, we talked about Oklahoma versus Texas.
I got the horns.
I know you do. Go ahead.
I only can be in here for a little bit, but I just want to get this off my chest. So the Big Ten just revised their schedule when it comes to like Oregon and Washington and all them. Their scheduling motto is so stupid. Like, you're telling me after this season, Michigan and Penn State aren't playing each other again until 2026?
Wow.
And then Penn State and Ohio State play each other next year and the year after that, but then they don't play again until 2028.
Wow.
Like, as a Penn State fan, I'm just annoyed by it because we're the only team in the Big Ten without a protected rival. And I know, and I've seen people on social media say, well, they're unrivaled. That's not the context that they're using that for. You're telling me that their rivalry with Ohio State, or even try to keep the Ohio State or Michigan rivalry relevant since they've been the top 3 dogs for the last 6-7 years. Like, What the hell are you doing?
So obviously you're pissed as hell about that. Appreciate you giving us that information, Broad. What does that say about the Big Ten and what's gonna happen?
I really don't know, because right now, heading into next year, they're gonna have the most schools with 18.
Wow.
What?
At first, it was just 16 with UCLA and USC that they added last summer, but then back in August, they added Oregon and Washington to make it 18.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I mean, conference realignment is just a nightmare right now, and you also got to feel for schools like Oregon State and Washington State. They're the only two members of the Pac-12 that have not found a new conference yet.
That is true.
Because when you look at it, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Arizona State, all heading to the Big 12. You got USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington heading to the Big 10. And a move that makes absolutely zero sense, especially by the name of the fucking conference. Cal and Stanford. 2 California teams. Plus SMU. 2 California teams and a Texas team. Joining the ACC, the Atlantic Coast.
A Texas team?
SMU.
SMU.
Oh, SMU.
Dallas,
oh,
Dallas, Texas.
Like, I don't understand it at all.
Calm down. I don't want you to raise your blood pressure, but it is really really a bad day for the Big Ten, man. Wanted to get your thoughts on some college football picks. We were talking about Kentucky versus Georgia. Champ has Georgia winning this one, but he's an objective Georgia Bulldogs fan. He hasn't been very impressed with Georgia all throughout this season.
You know that they're 0-4-1 against the spread, right? You know that, right?
Right.
So I hammered Kentucky plus 14.5. But I still think that Georgia wins.
All right. And we got LSU on the road against Missouri.
Like, heading into this season, we were all like, oh, LSU is going to kick the shit out of them. Now it's an interesting game when you look at it.
What up, Brandon?
Like, who would have thought that LSU would be 3-2 and Missouri would be 5-0?
5-0. Yeah, because Brian Kelly, I don't think he was that good of a head coach. I think he was overrated. And now when you look at their defense, Champ and I we were discussing earlier. I mean, look at the first game against Florida State, and then you look at last. Yeah, I mean, it was competitive the first half, as you mentioned, 17-14, and then they got obliterated the second half. And then last week against Ole Miss, I mean, how many points they gave up? Like 60 something.
It was like 59.
59. And then you're going on the road to Missouri. They're undefeated. I mean, it seems, and right now, if you just look at the pick right here, it says LSU is a 5.5 point favorite to win this one.
Yeah. Also, another point from Missouri that, because when I was watching their game last week, I'm like, really? They got him from there? Their starting running back, who's also their team captain, is a Division II transfer.
Wow.
Mm.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And we were discussing about some NFL. The Bears, they traded Chase Claypool to the Miami Dolphins. Miami gets a 2025 7th round draft pick. Chicago, in the meanwhile, they get a 2025 6th round pick. What are your thoughts about that, Broad? And what are your thoughts about that, Brandon? Can Chase Claypool resurrect his career in South Beach?
Resurrect? I would say no. But, like, did I think that he was going to get traded? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did I think Miami? No.
I didn't think so too, but again, they adding another wide receiver, as Champ said. How much more wide receivers can you get? I mean, you have Hill, you got Waddle, Robbie Chosen.
Oh,
Damn,
he
this,
changed his
I'm
last name
shocked.
to Chosen.
I'm shocked that Robbie Anderson, Chosen, is in
Chosen
the
Anderson.
Chosen Anderson on the practice squad. I don't know how he's still on the practice squad.
I don't know either.
But what I've been hearing was Waddle's still hurt. That's what I've been hearing. Yeah, I heard he's still banged up.
just in
I
case.
think he might play.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's gonna be tough. And then
But
look, man. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, it is crazy though that he went to a bad franchise to a contender. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but as Champ said, wide receivers from Pittsburgh outside of Plaxico and Antonio Brown, I mean, how have they turned out? We saw what happened with Mike Wallace.
But you could also say Hines Ward because didn't he have 1 year on the Jets?
I forgot he played on the Jets. I forgot.
Y'all
about
might
that.
call me crazy.
Uh-oh.
Oh Lord.
But Juju was nice for 1 year. I'm not gonna lie to you.
His rookie year was filthy.
Yeah. Juju was nice for 1 year, but the only thing about him was he was injury prone. That was the only thing about him.
True.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. And he also did a solid job last year with the Chiefs. Unfortunately for him with the Patriots, it's just a mess, man. It's just a flat out mess. But Broad, let's talk about. I don't want to talk too much about last night's game because I'm still dealing with that loss yesterday. But
DJ Moore, 49 points in fantasy, Brandon. You saw that.
Yeah, I know. I had him on my fantasy team.
Broad, I'm gonna let you go first. Do you think this win against the Commanders, are you now sold on Justin Fields?
No.
Where Kenny at?
Congrats. Congrats. He had a great game. Yes, I will give him credit for that. I will. He played a phenomenal game.
Sure did.
But, it's funny that you mentioned Kenny. Just the recency bias is unreal because everyone's talking about how he is off those 2 games. Even though the last game against the Broncos, he had 2 straight turnovers that were the reason why the Bears lost that game. And then you don't take into account the other 11 starts where he looked mediocre, bad, average. No one weighs into account his other starts. He looks great the last 2 games, but what about the first 3 games of the season? Let's not act like the Packers game was that long ago where he looked like absolute garbage. Same with the Bucks game.
True.
We can't ignore that. Champ, how do you feel about Justin Fields? Do you think his days in Chicago are numbered?
Well, last I heard, they trying to trade him and come down here to Georgia. Last I heard, because everybody's clamoring for him to come down to Atlanta, but I digress. Yes, his days in Chicago are numbered at this point.
Yes.
And here's my thing. Everybody's so quick to blame the quarterback, much like they're doing down south with Bryce Young. None of these guys have any type of line. They don't have any line. Their coaching is mediocre. The front office is just as bad. And the Chicago Bears, they're still trying to recapture that 85 team 50 years later. You can't play football like that no more.
Same old cycle.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. They're running the same old cycle where
we're
on the 3rd year, so now it's time to blow it up, build another 3-year project, and then blow that shit up again.
Yeah. And each time they come out with one good team that may make the playoffs. They come out with one good team that make the playoffs. Then, on top of that, if you don't need any more proof they're a dumpster fire now, look at what they did last year as far as getting rid of All-Pro and Raekwon Smith.
That's true.
We got rid of Raekwon Smith for a 2nd-round pick. He should have went for nothing less than a 1st and a 3rd.
Facts.
Or 2 firsts.
Exactly. And he up there, Lamar Jackson say he's looking and he's up there with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, looking like the next Ray Lewis.
Yeah. But also it's because Chicago is incompetent and they don't want to pay him.
I mean, but if you really think about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that linebacker? Every other team is the quarterback. But with Chicago, the middle linebacker has always been the cornerstone.
Yes.
Yes.
From Dick Butkus to Brian Urlacher to Mike Singletary, you name them. That has always been their cornerstone of their franchise. That's the most popular player in Chicago. So why not keep your middle linebacker such as Raekwon Smith? The only middle linebacker that's probably on the equal playing field right now with Raekwon Smith is Fred Warner.
Then Fred is
So
better.
you get rid of can you imagine if San Francisco had gotten rid of Fred Warner for a second-round pick?
That's blasphemous.
Blasphemous.
Can you imagine? No, picture that in your mind right now. Them saying dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
That
Fred Warner has been traded
Like,
to, let's say, the Carolina Panthers for a second-round pick.
I
You
mean,
realize how foolish that is? So
Yeah.
you got rid of your franchise linebacker for literally a song. You have no line, and another cornerstone of the Chicago Bears is the offensive line. You have no all-pro offensive line. DJ Moore showed you exactly what he's capable of last night. So the whole franchise is straight up backwards. I don't blame all of this on Justin Fields. We have a saying down here in Georgia, because we go through this nearly every single year with the quarterbacks in Atlanta. The quarterback can't throw on his back. Quarterback can't throw on his back. You got to get that young man aligned to hold him upright. You have to build teams around these guys. Teams. That's how come these teams are winning Super Bowls on these guys' rookie contracts. They're building entire teams around them, not just depending on that quarterback.
All right. So, Brandon, I'm gonna let you go in a little bit, but Champ, one last question. You mentioned Justin Fields to Atlanta. Would you like to see him in the ATL?
Honestly, I love to see that. Him and
Yeah, upgrade
Bijan
over
Robinson. Yeah,
Oh my
it'll
God.
get rid of because he is a disaster.
I'm
You
not
better off
gonna
having me
lie.
out there. You better off having me out there throwing the ball.
I'm not gonna
And I
lie.
can't throw
I've
but
been
20
hearing-
yards.
I've been hearing
Yeah.
Kyler Murray to Atlanta. If Kyler Murray goes to Atlanta,
Champ's
Falcons
not
gonna-
buying
they're
Kyler Murray
gonna
because
win
of the
that
study
division.
habits.
No, I don't
Nah.
buy that with Kyler
You don't
Murray.
think-
Go with
But yeah,
somebody
think
younger.
so?
Go with somebody
what
younger.
what Champ was saying, because me and PSP had this conversation last night. The chances of Justin Fields not being on the Bears next year, I would say currently right now is at about, I'm confident enough to say this number, about 85%.
Mm-hmm.
I say 90.
Because if they get a top 5 pick, he's going. There's not a chance in hell you keep him around. Oh, develop the rookie, show him some better. The hell no. No, your ass is out the door.
And plus,
That's why
Broad,
they brought in Andy Dalton to Carolina, so that he can have that like veteran leadership, even though he's the backup, and try to mentor Bryce Young and shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, one person really said this, that if Andy Dalton starts for the rest of the season, you guys might win games, which I don't think that's not going to happen. Hey, listen, I'm going to say this to me. I am not a Panther
but it's not
fan.
entirely on Bryce.
I'm not a Panther fan. I'm a Bryce Young fan at the end of the day. I'm going to be that guy supporting Bryce Young until he's done. I don't care if this man's a bust. I'm going to be a supporter for Bryce Young. I don't give a damn about our wide receivers. I don't care about the defense, which we did. We did rebuild this defense in the pandemic year. The defense was not that good. That defense was horrible. It was horrible. And then 2021, it got through 2021 through right now. It gotten so much better. I don't care how many defensive coordinators that we had. It got so much better. But right now, we're not in rebuild mode. We just got to rebuild this offense all over again, which is really, it's going to be really frustrating. And but that's all I'm going to say. But I'm a Bryce Young fan at the end of the day, you know? So
All right.
I'm just waiting for David Tepper's dumb fuck who's trying to sell this fucking team, because David Tepper and Scott Fitter are just they're a bunch of dumb fucks trying to hump a doorknob. That's what they are. They're a bunch of idiots.
Oh, it's
But like Jesus, I'm still sick and tired of those two dudes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I gotta go. PSP. Enjoy the night, brother.
Appreciate it, bro. Anytime, man. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too, man. Brendan, I'm gonna let you go. How do you feel about Justin Fields? Do you think his days in Chicago are numbered? And if it's numbered, where would you like to see him play?
I say this though. I think Justin Fields, right? He had a great game and stuff like that. But we just need to chill on talking about like he's back because it's only one game. I want to see him do it more. I would like if he does it like a couple more times. Like I think they play Minnesota, and there's another team he got to face. But let's just hope he keeps it up, man.
All right.
Keep it up.
And again, those people you referring to Certified Chris, Maria, and Kenny, because we all know they love themselves some Justin Fields. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But anyway, Harrison, speaking of Bryce Young, let's talk about another quarterback that was drafted one spot after Bryce Young. And that would happen to be CJ Stroud of the Houston Texans. Now, anyone who may not know, I was on Brandon's podcast, the Throwdown Podcast. Go check out his podcast. Like and subscribe to it every Monday nights at 7 p.m. And I said on his podcast, not only that the Houston Texans may have a chance to win the AFC South Division, at some point in time, we may have to have a discussion who's the better quarterback, CJ Stroud or Trevor Lawrence. And before, I'm not that much of a Trevor Lawrence fanboy like Dev or any of the other guys that I know. I like Trevor Lawrence. I like Trevor Lawrence a lot in terms of his talent, but I got to be honest, folks. So far this season, he has not been playing to the standard that I thought he was going to play in year 3. Year 2, he's in the second year with Doug Peterson. Coming into the season, I didn't think any of us thought Jacksonville. We thought it was their division to lose. And Trevor Lawrence has not been playing well so far. I mean, other than the season opener against the Colts, he hasn't been playing his best football. Right. Meanwhile, for CJ, these past couple of games, he's been balling. You look at the Jaguars game on the road and he outplayed Trevor Lawrence, and we saw what he did last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right. So I already said what I said about CJ Stroud. Brandon, I'm going to let you go. Do you think CJ Stroud can be better than Trevor Lawrence?
Well, before I talk about CJ Stroud being better, probably better than Trevor Lawrence, I told y'all about Trevor Lawrence, bro. I told y'all what it was going to be about Trevor Lawrence. I told y'all, bro. This man, Trevor Lawrence, bro, when I said he was the most overrated quarterback in the NFL, I said what I said, and I meant it. Not to disrespect, dude. He's a top he might not be top 10, but he top 10 right now. But
still playing football.
Yeah, yeah. We seen much of his bad than his good. It's just facts, man. And ever since that comeback, like people want to get into this hype train, I said, chill. It's only one game. So like, yeah, bro. Like, hope Trevor Lawrence play well, so I hope he get a bounce back. Yeah, bounce back. But like, daggone. Now with CJ Stroud, I like his poise. I like his accuracy. I like his IQ. He can throw the ball. He got great vision and all that. And this is with the Texans with a bad O-line as well. So, and he's still cooking. But if he can be better than Trevor Lawrence, he can.
All right. Harrison, how do you feel about CJ Stroud? Do you think he can be better than Trevor Lawrence?
That's a good question. I don't know. That is actually a really good question. Maybe. I'm going to say maybe for now. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, since the beginning of the draft, we talked it on Brandon's podcast about it, saying that we should have drafted CJ Stroud. We should have drafted Anthony Richardson. Well, guess what? If those two came to my team, they will both struggle. I don't care about the wide receivers. Our wide receivers get no separation whatsoever. Our O-line's freaking hurt. I mean, like, I think Bryce Young has a better IQ than CJ Stroud. I think that, but talent, CJ Stroud has better talent than Bryce Young. But from my opinion, I'm taking IQ over talent every single day. I think Bryce Young has a better IQ than CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson. Listen, we've seen this before. Remember in the 2021 class, we saw Trevor Lawrence got drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? People and also Mac Jones and I think Zach Wilson, right? PSP.
Yes, Zach Wilson number 2, Trey Lance 3rd, Justin Fields was somewhere a couple of spots after the top 10 pick.
People said that Mac Jones was the best quarterback in that draft class.
That's true. That is true.
Mm-hmm. He got benched against the Dallas Cowboys. It was like what, 38-3?
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess what Trevor Lawrence been doing right now? He's playing absolutely amazing, playing like a top 10 quarterback for the past 2 years right now since like Doug Peterson. In his first year, he was throwing interception again, and interception again. I'm just saying, I think it's going to happen again. I think that Trevor Lawrence was by far one of the best quarterbacks in that draft class this year, and it's not even a question about it. I think next year in the future that Bryce Young is going to be the best quarterback in this draft class next year or the year after that. And I'm calling it right now. And I think CJ Stroud is going to struggle next year or the year after that. And I'm calling it right now.
Okay, before I leave it to Champ, Harrison, don't you think you're being a bit too emotional?
I'm just feeling confident. I'm a Bryce Young fan.
Okay. All right, fine. I'll let it slide. Champ, do you think CJ Stroud, how good do you think CJ Stroud can be? And do you think he has a chance of being better than Trevor Lawrence?
Honestly, and this is a hot take for me. This is a hot take. Probably the hottest I have.
I'm going to give you the solo on this one.
Here's what I believe about Trevor Lawrence. People automatically see his size, and they fall in love with his size and his build and his arm, and they fall for what he looks like rather than what he is. Right now, he's not doing very well. His rookie year, he didn't do very well. Now, granted, it takes a little bit more time for certain quarterbacks in order to get better, but I think people fall in love with what he looks like rather than what he really is. He's not a world beater type quarterback that we saw like when Joe Burrow came into the league his second year. He's not one of those world beater type of quarterbacks. And I think people are fell in love with his size and say, well, that's what a quarterback looks like rather than what he really is. He's really a middle of the pack type quarterback, to be honest with you. If you really want me to be honest with you, he's middle of the pack, very middle of the pack at this point. So I really think that CJ Stroud has the potential in order to be better, but it's going to be I can see that rivalry kind of being like Steve McNair versus Peyton Manning. I think that rivalry can go on for years to come. But like I said, people fell in love with Trevor Lawrence's size and his build and how he looks as far as the build of a quarterback. Because he's like I think he's like 6'6", 6'7" for a quarterback. Pretty huge for a quarterback. I mean, prototypical quarterback. 6'7", huge arm, mobile in the pocket, but I think people fall in love with Trevor Lawrence with what he looks like rather than what he was. Sort of like they did with Rob Johnson when he was in Buffalo.
All right. And I will say this about CJ, folks. I think organization rise right now in the AFC South. You can make an argument for the Indianapolis Colts, and they've looked pretty good so far on this season. They actually looked good last week against the Rams. Almost came back and won against the Rams. I like where the Houston Texans are as an organization. I've been telling folks what DeMeco Ryans has been doing, and he's done a damn good job. He's going to be one of the young ascending head coaches in the NFL. This is a dude who's played with the Texans, defensive rookie of the year, defensive-minded guy, high character person, former defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers. The Texans, they drafted the quarterback of their future in CJ, And they also traded to get the third pick in Will Anderson Jr. So you have those two as the cornerstones of those franchise. And I think with Houston in time, as long as they can do some things, particularly offensive line, and CJ got pieces. Tank Dell, Nico Collins had a big game last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you also look at Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz is a very underrated tight end. Did a good job during his time with the Dallas Cowboys. They got Pierre, the running back. So they got some pieces. And I think CJ actually has a chance of being a legitimate top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And I think the knock on him was Ohio State quarterbacks. Quarterbacks who've come from that college didn't pan out that well. You look at Troy Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner, didn't work out for him. You look at Terrell Pryor, didn't work out. God rest his soul, Dwayne Haskins. You look at all the other quarterbacks out of Ohio State, didn't pan out well. CJ is changing the narrative. And I think CJ over time, this is the type of dude that you can work with. And he has the size, 6'3", 220, sharp, IQ. He's not the most mobile or athletic quarterback in the world, but he's mobile enough. And he has that dog, that it factor in him. He has confidence. And Chip, he went up against the Georgia Bulldogs, even though they lost that one. But still, you didn't look at CJ and said, oh, man, he was the reason why they lost. CJ played his ass off in that game, and he could make all those types of throws. And when I started to fall in love with CJ Stroud, I think it was the game against Utah. I think it was the Rose Bowl game. Even though Jackson Smith-Njigba was putting up crazy numbers, and he also had a young Marvin Harrison Jr., but the way CJ was spinning that ball, the way he threw those dimes, the way he threw the ball with the accuracy, anticipation, that's a great special quality to have. And I feel like this is the type of dude that you can roll with. I think Bryce Young will be fine in the NFL level. I just think, though, the Panthers have to do a better job surrounding him with some offensive line because, after all, he's not the most prototypical quarterback in terms of size. Anthony Richardson, I think he has the higher ceiling because of his athleticism and his size. He still needs to work on his accuracy. But I think so far with the Colts, I think he's been very impressive. But CJ, to me, was the sure thing. So I think CJ will have the brighter future. Do I think he could be better than Trevor? Yes, but Trevor so far, man, and I can't defend him anymore. I can't continuously defend him when he has these types of performances, especially the ones against the Texans and in week 2. Trevor Lawrence, and we got to hold Trevor Lawrence to a high standard because coming out of college, he was the best prospect since Andrew Luck. People love his size, 6'5", 6'6", 220 or whatever. Cannon of an arm, can make all the requisite throws. He's getting way too much of a pass whenever things go wrong. The first year, okay, he's a rookie. Urban Meyer was his head coach. It was a disaster in Jacksonville the first year. I mean, Urban Meyer, and we don't need to get into all the specific details. We already know. You bring in Doug Peterson, Super Bowl champion head coach, a guy who knows how to work with quarterbacks, who's played the quarterback position. He can work out with Trevor Lawrence. And they did well the first year. They were able to win a playoff game. Now, so far, they're looking bad. And it's looking so bad right now for Trevor. We're talking more about CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson more. And not only that, though, what I love about it, the AFC South is no longer considered a weaker division because now you got some legit quarterbacks to go up against Trevor. So that's what I really love. So Trevor Lawrence, him being considered the best quarterback in the division, that's not going to be the case for the long term. Some point we're going to have to talk about CJ and we're going to talk about Anthony Richardson and Jacksonville to win the AFC South. It's not theirs to lose. There's going to be some legit competition that they have to face. But before I let y'all have one last comment before we move on to another subject, my man Da Vinci, Dev, Go check out his podcast as well. He said, no, CJ is not better, but he is playing very well. We all know Dev. Anyone who knows him, he loves himself some Clemson Tigers. He loves himself some Trevor Lawrence. Dev, if you want to hop on the pod to explain your case, I already sent the StreamYard link in the comment section below. But one last comment, y'all, before we move on to another subject.
I heard about Urban Meyer. I remember the Michigan State fired their head coach, right?
Yes. And if Urban Meyer decides to become a head coach, and if you're a college football program, why bring him back on?
He already said he wasn't interested in the job, though.
Right. Thank God.
I don't want Coach Mike Elko to leave. I want him to stay at Duke with the way he's been doing right now. It's been absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We have him until 2029. I mean, we can't waste his opportunities with Coach Mike Elko. So,
all right. Champ, Brandon, do you have any final comments about CJ or Trevor Lawrence before we move on to the next subject?
One subject about the Ohio State quarterbacks. He's the first Ohio State quarterback that is a pure pocket passer. And I think that's why he's more successful than the other ones. Because I think a lot of those coaches, including Urban Meyer, were so focused on those quarterback speed and their ability to make things happen when they legs that they didn't develop them as passers. And I think that is why CJ Stroud is essentially breaking the curse of the Ohio State quarterbacks, because he is a pure passer rather than trying to make plays. Can he make plays with his legs? Yes. But he stays in that doggone pocket until it collapses.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. All right, folks, let's talk about some NFL picks. Let's talk about some NFL picks heading into week 5. And then we're going to talk about some NBA, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff. So let me see if I can get some of the NFL picks right here. Damn Wi-Fi. All right. Jacksonville at Buffalo. The game is at London, 9:30 a.m. on NFL Network. Buffalo is a 5.5-point favorite. So, Champ, I'm going to let you go first. Who do you have winning that game?
Well, now correct me if I'm wrong about this. Didn't Jacksonville just play in London last week?
Yes, against Atlanta.
I'm telling you, bro, that freaking game, 28-0 comeback, bro, shook people's heads and making them. I'm telling you, bro.
All right. Still, I'm taking Buffalo.
Okay, Brandon.
Give me Buffalo, bro.
And Harrison, needless to say, you're picking Buffalo.
Now I've been thinking about it recently, but
Yes.
the last hold on, let me. The last time we saw the Bills playing against Jacksonville, it was against Josh. It was Josh Allen playing against Josh Allen.
Oh, bro.
I mean, I think it's gonna be a low-scoring game, but I'm gonna pick Buffalo.
Okay. Then here comes the afternoon games. Houston goes on the road to face Champs Falcons. The Falcons are a 1.5-point favorite. Champ, who you got?
The Texans.
Why so?
The weak link of the Atlanta Falcons right now is Desmond Ridder. I don't trust him with the ball, and that is the reason why Arthur Smith keeps making these asinine play calls on third down. They'll run a little sweep here, run a little gimmick play there, and they don't trust him. That's the reason why he's calling these plays. So I'm taking the Texans, and the defense is going to keep us in it for like the first 3 quarters, and then it's going to get out of hand in the fourth quarter.
Before I let Brandon get his pick, can you please explain to me, Champ, what the hell is Arthur Smith doing with Kyle Pitts? Because, man, Kyle Pitts, man, it's sad to see where his career is right now. And Kyle Pitts can play.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, and here's my take on it, he's trying to make the Atlanta Falcons the Tennessee Titans, how it was back in Tennessee. You know, he run the ball first and second down, wear the team down, and then throw the ball out of necessity. That doesn't work in this league. You see, it caught up with Tennessee. It caught up with Tennessee the past couple of years because, you know, Derrick Henry's been injured.
Mm-hmm.
So we need an offensive minded coach who is not going to be so hell bent on running the ball all the time. I mean, and you got to have a quarterback that's going to be able to do more than just dick and dunk the whole game,
Yeah.
or either change up the philosophy and just turn him loose. Turn him loose. No matter if he throws 3 interceptions, just turn him loose. So until that changes, I don't see us winning many games. And I think Kyle Pitts will be gone by next year. I truly believe that because you're not using him properly. That is the biggest mismatch that you have on the entire team.
That is a damn shame. Brandon, who you got, man?
Give me the Texas.
And
Yeah,
Harrison?
I'm going Houston. I'm going Houston. But Mr. Champ, I got a question. So if you have to pick a team where Kyle Pitts wants to go to, who do you think? Who wants him?
Dallas would want him.
Okay.
Dallas would want him.
Yeah, I
think,
want Washington to have him.
Yeah, Washington would love to have him. I mean, if here's a dark horse team, and hear me out on this.
Okay.
Send them to Baltimore.
Another tight end.
Make them play that 2 tight end system. They don't know how to develop wide receivers, but they do know how to develop tight ends. Let them play a 2 tight end system.
I don't know,
I don't know. They have Isaiah Likely. I mean,
I
he's
know,
not
but
bad.
not him and Mark Andrews.
And Lamar loves himself the tight end spot.
Yeah, all the running quarterbacks. Look it up. Every running quarterback in NFL history loved their tight ends.
Cam Newton, Greg Olsen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, and it worked in New England. Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. Let them run the 2
Oh
tight
yeah,
end system.
it did. Yeah. That's
All
true.
right, can't disagree. Can't argue with that. Unfortunately, Harrison, Carolina on the road against Detroit. The Lions are 9.5 point favorites.
Damn.
Harrison, who do you have?
I really hate GPSP. Why do I have to go first?
It's your team.
Okay. You know, okay. We had some breaking news from the Lions. Amon St. Brown is going to be out against us.
Ooh.
And Jameer Gibbs is questionable.
Oh.
And also
Sounds
some
like
good
you
news
have
for
a chance.
some good news for us. Dante Jackson had a full practice today, and also Jonathan Mingo cleared his concussion protocol. He is ready to go. But unfortunately, Austin Corbett is still not going to play. He's still trying to recover from this PUP with that torn ACL last year against New Orleans, the last game of the season. Damn. This is just like, I mean, Jared Goff is still going to be Jared Goff. I mean, you know what? I'm picking Carolina, but I just really just want to see Bryce Young just throw a bullet. If I see another wide receiver screen on 3rd down and 7, I'm just gonna just not gonna watch it. I'm just not gonna watch it. If Thomas Brown does not get this job right here, I'm just gonna lose my mind right now because if I see another halfback dive and wide receiver screen, so I'm picking Carolina, but my head is saying Detroit. So.
All right, Brandon.
That's gonna be a good game. Since Mon Rod's out, oh man, I'm gonna still go to Lions though.
Champ.
Going to Lions by 2 touchdowns.
No, I'm gonna go with Detroit. Now, this is a game I think I can say for all of us, we expect this team to win. New York on the road against the Miami Dolphins.
Oh wow! Come on.
The Giants are coming off a humiliating performance against Brandon's Seattle Seahawks. Daniel Jones had 3 turnovers, including that awful pick 6 to Devon Witherspoon, who balled in that game.
Facts.
He had 2 sacks, an interception, the pick 6. Daniel Jones, wasn't he sacked like 10 or 11 times in that
11.
game?
Yeah,
11.
the only quarterback to get sacked 10 times and throw a pick six.
Right. And Evan Neal, obviously, with the comments that he said about the fans flipping burgers, he later took back those comments. But Champ, I know who you're going with.
Saquon playing?
Ooh.
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
he's questionable. No, he's questionable.
Oh, he's
Okay,
questionable?
Miami.
I'm
If he's
still going
question-
with Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, I'm going Miami if
Yeah,
Saquon
same.
plays or not.
Yeah.
Same.
If I knew Saquon was going to be playing, I'd have it a little bit closer, but no.
Claypool getting a touchdown, by the way.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
I think he'll get a TD.
Yeah, he good touchdown.
All right, so Brandon got Miami, Champ got Miami, Harrison, you got Miami.
Yes, sir.
All right, and so do I as well. This is actually a pretty interesting one, and Trent, we all know Trent. He does a great job with his podcast and with Player's Choice. He's been hard on one Joe Burrow. Well, the Cincinnati Bengals got to go on the road to face the Arizona Cardinals, and Cincinnati is a 3-point favorites. Now, the Bengals so far, they haven't been playing this good football so far, and Joe Burrow, I hate to say it, has been playing like ass so far this season. So, Champ, who do you have winning this one?
Cincy.
That don't sound that face you gave don't sound convincing.
I gotta go with Cincy. I don't really trust Arizona. Is like I believe they did that because it was Dallas, but Dallas would choke it up. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, I'll go. I'm not ready to give up on Joe Burrow this year. He's been hurt. That's not an excuse. But he's been hurt. But he hasn't been as mobile as he was the previous 2 years, but I don't blame that all on him. That offensive line is to blame a little bit as well. So, but I'm not ready to give up on Joe Shiesty yet. So let's go with the Bengals.
Well, hopefully Jamar Chase will have a better game instead of saying I'm always fucking open. So, Brandon, who you got?
Yeah, I got the Bengals. Big bounce back.
Yeah, I think we've seen this from last year. I mean, we saw the Bengals struggle at the beginning of the season, and they went to the AFC Championship. It's gonna happen again this year. So I'm going Cincy.
All right. Now the Eagles, they go on the road to face the Rams. The Eagles are 4-point favorites. So
Cup's
who do you have,
back.
Champ?
Say again?
Who you
Cup
have,
is-
Champ?
oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brandon. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
I said
ahead.
Cup's back.
Oh, okay. Cup's coming and playing?
Yeah, he's back. He's coming back.
Ooh.
Okay. That's gonna be very intriguing. So who do you got, Champ?
The tush push Eagles.
Look, I know people hate that play, but hey, it's effective, man.
I like it, man. I like the tush push, man. Stop it.
I mean, to me, it's the NFL's version of the hack a Shaq, man. I mean, I may not like it, but at the same time, I can't be mad for someone for trying for it. I mean, because it's effective. Brendan, man, who do you got?
Yeah, I got the Eagles.
Okay.
I got the Eagles too, but I think it's gonna be close.
All right. Oh, another interesting one. Jets on the road against the Broncos.
Oh man.
Champ?
In the great words of Elton John, we're going Benny and the Jets on this one. Zach Wilson has matured a lot. I don't think too many people are talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
He
They're
has
not.
matured a lot since last year. He has shown some serious accountability, and my hat goes off to him because, even though he wasn't the reason, he technically wasn't the reason. He played a monster game this past week. He took the responsibility, which a quarterback should do, in order to say, "I lost that game with 7 minutes left in the quarter." So I got to go with the I got to go with the Jets.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah, rolling with the Jets. I don't like the Broncos this week because Russ got to play that defense over there. So yeah, I got the Jets.
All right,
All right.
Harrison.
It's in Denver. Dude, I'm worried about the defense though. About Denver though, that's the thing. But I'm going Denver. I think Russ is gonna shine. I think Russ is gonna shine in Denver.
Although I've called Russell Wilson corny as hell from time to time with the Subway commercials and stuff, I'm gonna give the
Wow.
Broncos a win this one. I think it's gonna be defensive game, 16-13 Denver. I think Russ, when it counts most, is gonna make a key throw, key play, gonna put the field goal kicker in enough possession for the game-winning field goal. I think Zach Wilson may have another solid game. I mean, last week, whoever thought Zach Wilson last week would outperform Patrick Mahomes? No one in their mind would have thought about that. And he did. And I thought, to his credit, he played a hell of a game. Minus that turnover, I gave him an A. He should have had 3 touchdowns in that game. There was 1 drop pass in the red zone in the second quarter. So we'll talk about that. And then we're gonna talk about Chiefs Vikings. Who do you have in that one? Chiefs Vikings.
Go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
After last week, Kirk Cousins was freaking awful. Bryce Young played way better than Kirk Cousins in that game, though. Let's just be honest here. But I wanted to say shout out to Sam Franklin, the safety from the Panthers, had a franchise record with a 99-yard pick six to set a franchise record, the longest pick six in Panther history. Shout out to him. But I'm taking Kansas City.
All right, Brandon got Kansas City. Champ.
Kansas City.
All right. And of course, before we get into the Monday Night Football game, but the biggest game, Dallas at San Francisco. San Francisco is a 4-point favorite in this game. We all know what happened last year. Dallas at San Francisco in the playoffs in the divisional round. Champ, who do you have winning this one?
San Fran.
Yes, sir.
Christian McCaffrey will go for over 100 yards.
You'll go for over 100?
He will go over 100 yards.
Who's going for 100? CMC?
CMC will go over 100 yards.
Oh, okay.
Who you got, Brandon?
Yeah, I gotta go for San Fran with this one, man. I don't trust Dak in this game.
Harrison?
I don't think it's gonna be all Brock Purdy. I think that whoever's on that offense, whoever's that quarterback, they will do amazing in that offense. Brock Purdy's doing fine so far, but it's all CMC, man. I hope C-Mac Attack gets his first ring, and hopefully he wins the Super Bowl. So I'm going with CMC in San Francisco.
And I'm going to go with San Francisco in this one. I think it's going to be 19-16 San Fran. I think the only way for San Fran to win this game, if Christian McCaffrey can run the ball effectively, and some point in time, I think we have to have a discussion for him being the MVP. Tired of always giving it to quarterbacks. He has to be in that conversation. Brock Purdy, I think he'll play well enough. It all comes down to Dallas with Dak Prescott, particularly how he plays in the red zone. And he has not looked that good in the red zone so far this season. We saw the Arizona game, and we saw the Patriots. I thought he could have done a better job capitalizing a couple more opportunities in the red zone. What type of performance are we going to see from Dak Prescott? Is he going to give us a great performance, or is he going to give us another bad performance? It all comes down to Dak. But if Dak plays well and wins the game, then hey, I'm going to give Dak Prescott a ton of credit. And then the Monday Night Football game, Green Bay goes on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders. Champ, who do you have?
So Jimmy G is out of porn star Jimmy out of concussion protocol, right?
Oh, Lord.
What?
Hey, yo.
Porn star
What?
Porn star Jimmy. he out of
That's
concussion. Okay.
that's just sus, honestly.
I mean, he
Stephen
dating
A
porn
came up with
stars,
that
ain't it?
nickname. Stephen A came up with that
It's
nickname.
porn star Jimmy. I mean, it was Kira Mia, but we ain't
Yeah.
but yeah, he's out of concussion protocol, but I'm still going with Jordan Love. I'm not ready to give up on old Jordan Love yet.
All right. Brandon
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay.
Harrison. I think he's still shocked when you said porn star Jimmy G. But I'm gonna go with Green Bay on this one. But let's talk a little bit of some NBA. Of course, we all know the big news. Damian Lillard was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Holiday is now with the Boston Celtics. So, Brandon, you talked about this on your pod, man. How do you feel about with the East? Do you see, other than Milwaukee and Boston competing in the East, do you see anybody else?
Maybe Philly, but I don't know. Eastern Conference Finals. I got the Bucks and Celtics. So I don't
Right.
know.
Champ.
Yeah, but it was a
I'm
good
sorry,
trade.
Brandon.
It was a great trade.
Yeah.
Boston got Drew Holiday, upgraded Marcus Smart, and also can shoot the 3 ball. For the Bucks though, you got Dame Times and you got Giannis.
That pick and roll.
Yeah, that pick and roll gonna be crazy. And
Mhm.
PSP, they gonna call it freak time.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be nice. Champ, how do you feel about with all the NBA news with Dame going to Milwaukee, Drew Holiday going to Boston, so much more, man? What's your thoughts about that?
First of all, shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks because
Mm-hmm.
they did not play, for lack of a better term, on getting their guy Giannis another superstar. So big up to them in order for them to go out and just find to get Damian Lillard. I would have never thought that they would have gotten a Damian Lillard on their team. That's number one. So, but I think if Giannis hadn't been injured in the last year in the playoffs, I think they would have gone further. So, hey, I think that Giannis, I think that they're the prohibited favorite to go to the NBA Finals. It's a two-man race in the East. It's a two-man race in the East. We've seen it before, but I believe that Milwaukee is prohibited favorite to go to the NBA Finals in the East.
What up, Leaf?
What's good?
Good, man. You just missed all the
Uh-oh.
NFL discussion. We move into NBA, man. But what's your thoughts about with the whole news? D Lillard going to Milwaukee, Drew Holiday going to Boston. Now, before I let Leaf go, Leaf, we all know how you are with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. You call them the two Scottie Pippins. You don't believe they can win a championship. How do you feel with this Drew Holiday trade and so much more of the NBA, man?
Well, I think I talked about it before with Boston. This kind of reminds me of what they was looking like after the '08 championship, when they basically got rid of a lot of their grit players and a lot of the players that were key contributors to that championship, and basically try to cover it up with them weak ass band-aids. And that's basically what they kind of doing here. Not saying nothing against Drew Holiday, but listen, if Drew Holiday is the best piece that they got out of this offseason and that they're going into the next season with, listen, I don't know how confident I am with it, despite the way that the roster look like, because you looking for Porzingis to basically be what your number four offensive best offensive player, as opposed to to Milwaukee side, you basically got a guy that's generational automatically. You got two generational offensive, generational talents in Dame, who is still automatic at the age of 33, 34. And Giannis basically, you basically done turn Giannis into a pick and roll guy. And everybody in here know if you don't stop Giannis before it start, it's basically like you basically just gave up a layup or a dunk. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, it's going to come down to which team puts more pressure on who offensively, because both teams well, I ain't gonna say the Celtics. The Celtics on paper, they definitely are better defensively, but I think the Bucks, they have more dynamic offensively. You know, in terms of what Dame can do off the pick and roll, and what Giannis can do when he slips off the pick and roll and he gets in the dunk box and he gets more one-on-one opportunities. But everything I said about Boston, and P5 of all people he got personal with me the other day on Bobby's podcast, talking about, yo, Leaf, you don't never had no reason why, you always say this, you always say that. Listen, when it comes to the Celtics, I treat them like the Cowboys. We know what we know we're gonna see. It's shit. That's what we're gonna see. Listen, it's garbage in and garbage out. They're gonna find a way to fail you. You just gotta wait for it. That's all it is.
You were gonna say Cowboys with the Lakers, but okay.
Well, I was gonna say Cowboys with the Lakers, but in this equation, I use the Celtics to sub in. But the thing is, bro, like when it comes to the Celtics, bro, you just gotta wait for it. They're gonna sell you. You know why?
Right.
Because they got 2 Scottie Pippins. That's why. And when it's time for them to have consistent games in the playoffs, and now they gotta have them because they don't have any safety nets. They don't have Grant Williams and Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Smart as their safety nets anymore. Now they got players that got exposed on their previous teams, like Drew Holiday. He got exposed last year against Jimmy and the Heat. He got exposed as being with his responsibilities, and his responsibilities is kind of going to be a little bit clearer now. But everybody's going to look at him as the go-to playmaker for this team. And that's a good case. That's a lot better than what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown has done as playmakers. But I don't think it's going to be good enough. And when it's time for JB and JT to have consistent games night in and night out in the playoffs, game after game, they're not going to be able to. If they wasn't able to do it with the safety nets of Ime, who they had in the last 2 years, he's gone. Marcus Smart, who they had in the last 2 to 8 years, he's gone. Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, who was 6th man of the year, and Grant Williams, who got him out of games when they were struggling and when they made the finals run. What are they going to do now when they don't have those safety nets? Everybody's looking for them to just glow up. Yo, we got it from here. We could take it from here. No, they don't have the gumption. They don't have the heart. They get moved away from the basket way too easily, and they start to settle. This is why they Scottie Pippins to me, because they always back off. That's why.
All right, valid points.
Jesus Christ.
Harrison, how do you feel?
I'm gonna say this right now, or I said in the chat. I think that the Celtics and the Bucks are gonna be in the how's I supposed to say this? In the NBA
Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference, yeah. I think it's gonna be the same thing as usual last year. So I still think the Celtics are gonna. I think it's gonna be the Celtics gonna win it all this year.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously, the Dame Dollar trade didn't sit too well with one particular member of the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler. This is what he appeared on Media Day.
Lord
What is
have
wrong with
mercy.
my life? Please tell me what's wrong with my life. Did he learn? No, I swear to God. Did he woke up and just said, you know what? I'm going to become emo.
You know what this is, man. We all know what this is. This is Jimmy not making up for all the attention that he's not getting for or his run as on the Miami Heat. The attention that he was looking for, he got it. Well, we all know that he basically turned into Juwanna Man, and not just in the finals this past year, but now he did it in reality. On camera, on screen, and now you have that as your go-to pitcher. Now you did that on Media Day. You decided that was a good idea to do that shit on Media Day.
Yeah, Bama Abayi was tearing.
And now you got your peoples and everybody that supports you, bro, looking at you like, bro.
Bro will be singing that song. Tonight I'll be fighting for you. over again. Don't even change
Harrison,
my
Harrison, you
mind.
got a magnificent voice, bro. But this ain't the time. I'm telling you, brother. This is just straight up nasty. This is nasty work. This is not good at all, bro. Brandon, you know this ain't good at all, neither, bro. Y'all all this is not a lack
I
of
know. I
talent.
swear, Jimmy
This is
Jimmy
really
Butler
not,
plays
bro.
like
No,
that. I swear I might laugh.
listen. When you
Oh
when
my
you do
God.
that, when you do things like that, that's basically telling Pat Riley, bro. I guess we're not getting no trades. I guess we're not making. This is basically a cry for help, and it's basically a
Like
cry to the
Bam
front
Adebayo,
office.
like tearing up right now, or like
It's basically a cry for help and a cry to the front office, and basically
damn.
thumbing your nose at the front office and saying,
Speak,
"Hey,
speak,
we doing
speaking
what
of
we want to do, right?"
speaking
Okay.
of Jimmy Butler, PSP, give me the full screen right quick, bro. Because I don't think I never said this in your on your pod.
Oh
But
boy.
bro, Jimmy Butler is not a top 10 player in this league. I gotta mention this. He is not top 10, bro. We just
Give me a top 10. Give me a top 10 right now, Brendan.
If you really want to do this right now,
I never heard your top. Brandon. Respectfully, bro. Like me, like I mostly talk a lot of football with you, bro. Like, but and you've been a football guy, you know. Like, but so I need to know your legitimate top 10 coming into the season.
all right, cool. All right, so number one, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's number one. He's the best player in the world. He still is. Okay.
Okay.
Number two, Jokic.
Okay.
3, you got Steph.
Mhm.
4, I don't care what y'all say. When he's on the court, he's a top 5 player in this league. That is Kevin Durant. Give me him at 4. Jason Tatum at 5. 6, I got Luka. 7, I got Joel Embiid. 8, I got Dame.
You have
Uh,
Dame over LeBron?
Huh? Oh no! Hold on. How did I forget LeBron? Dang, oh, that's crazy. LeBron 9. I'm gonna get 10. Oh man, should I put it 10?
Brendan, Brendan, you been drinking? You sound
No,
worse than me.
who I'm missing? Who I'm missing? I know I'm missing somebody. Who?
You over there sleeping on that night train?
You missing Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler a 10?
No, he's not. He's not top 10. He's not top 10.
Damn.
There's
Then
one-
what do you
hold on.
have, Brendan?
Hold
Kawhi?
on.
You
let me find my
really
list.
trying to find a player to put over?
Morant?
Anthony
Jamal
Davis?
Murray?
Wait. Hold on.
Jamal Murray?
Don't you dare say SGA.
No, it ain't SJ. Hold on, let me find my list. Hold on.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So he has Giannis, Jokic, Steph.
If you
KD,
say AD, I'm leaving.
Jason Tatum. Those are his top 5 in that order.
You got Jason Tatum top 5. We got problems.
He has Luka 6. Who do you have 7th?
He had Joel 7th.
Oh, yeah, Joel 7th. He said Dame for 8.
Oh yes,
Dame for
Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I
there
gotta
we go.
I gotta go.
There we go. Right there.
Gotta go.
Davis.
So this
gotta
this
go.
my full top 10. This is
I gotta go.
This is in order too. This is in order
I
too.
have to go.
All right, hold on. So number 1, Giannis. Number 2, we got Jokic. 3, got Steph. 4, Kevin Durant. 5, Jason Tatum. 6, Luka. 7, Joel Embiid. 8, LeBron James. Number 9, Damian Lillard. 10, Anthony Davis.
You know
Jamal
something,
Murray?
Brandon?
Nah, Jamal Murray. Nah.
You know something, Brandon, bro? Like I was about to take you seriously until you said Dame at 8, and then you just said LeBron. Like it's okay to admit that LeBron is not a top 10 player. If you would have said Devin Booker, somebody, bro, like I'd have been okay. I'm like, all right.
Hold on. I got more. Devin Booker. Devin Booker's better than Jimmy Butler. Donovan Mitchell is better than Jimmy Butler.
Oh no.
Ja Morant.
Ja
Morant is better than Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
He's better than Jimmy Butler. He's better than Jimmy Butler.
Brandon.
In the great words of Easy E, my man JD is on free base.
All right,
Yes,
Ja
he is.
Morant, I'm tripping. No, the Ja Morant, I'm tripping, but Donovan
Yeah,
Mitchell,
you are tripping on John Morant.
You tripping on Donovan Mitchell too?
No,
Yes.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. After this
No,
playoff performance.
Oh,
After this playoff performance.
no, I'm not. Hey, but this the thing I got with Jimmy Butler though. Jimmy Butler in the regular season, he's fine. He's fine. But when the playoffs come,
Oh man.
just because there's
Okay,
one year,
okay, Brandon. Let me ask you this
So
question:
wait, playoff
You-
Jimmy is a myth. That's what that is.
Jimmy Butler.
myth or aberration?
he
But
ain't gonna do
Brandon,
it again. He ain't
Brandon,
gonna
let me
do
ask you.
Well, I would like to say that playoff Jimmy is a bit of a stretch. He's had good playoff performances. He has. Maybe not as maybe a little bit more in further than Donovan Mitchell and John Morant. Obviously, John Morant was putting up 40 against the Lakers, but I mean that's null and void because they lost. But anyway, Jimmy Butler has turned into a pick and choose gangster in that Nugget series. I will admit that, but all the way up until that point, and then maybe I say what last year he has proven to be pretty okay playoff performer. Pretty good playoff performer. If we going off of last year and this year, going to all the way to the shot that was not supposed to be a three, it was supposed to be a mid range. But had he would have made that, the Celtics would have been in the shitter like they belong. Had he would have made that, we would have been talking about Jimmy as a very, very good playoff performer. But Brandon insists that there's still players that's better than him, even after that fact. Even going on the playoff runs that he had this year and last year. Last year was a little bit more better than this year, I will say. But I mean,
I'll say this though. Jimmy Butler last year for the playoffs, he had that one good series against Milwaukee. I'll give him that one. But the rest of them, the one was the Boston. What was the other team he faced?
the Knicks this past year.
The Knicks was all right. It was cool.
That's when he rolled his ankle. But that's
when
the
he
one
injured
in
the ankle.
Boston. The one in Boston? No, I'm not giving it to
Okay,
you.
all right. So the previous year. Let's go back to the previous year. Before this past year. So they faced. I think they faced the Sixers. That was the you picked the Tobias Harris over me series.
And they lost in the conference finals to the Celtics.
To the Celtics in 7 games, and then there was that shot. Yeah, and then but going all the way up to that point. When he missed that shot in Game 7, I thought that he was on a roll in terms of a playoff performer. Now, if you want to go back and look at it and look at some of the numbers, in that Boston series, I think he had a couple of 30+ point games. He had 30. I think he dropped 40 something in Game 5, Game 4, and another 40 in Game 6. And had a pretty okay game in Game 7, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken about that. Maybe people gonna go look at the efficiency, whatever. But I think off the strength of that and the combination of this past year against specifically against Milwaukee, when he was damn near averaging 40 in that 5 game gentleman sweep, man. Like I think that kind of ushered him as a better playoff performer. But to say that he's not been a top 10 player just off the strength of the combination of that coming into this season, I think is a little much. If you want to say fringe top 10, I would have said that, but
he's top 15.
Not top 10.
He's top 15.
That's a little bit disingenuous, but I mean, but then again, you got Jason Tatum as top 5, so I mean.
All right, let's move on to another NBA subject right here. James Harden. He skipped media day. The reports about him possibly going to the Clippers in a trade. Leaf, you've been hard on James Harden, and rightfully so. What's your thoughts about James Harden?
Man, I try to tell you, man. Like if there's anybody, and a lot of people that's gonna bring up Kawhi and LeBron and Kevin Durant and how they've tried to get their way and get stuff to go their way and all of this and basically try to break the system. James Harden has religiously, not just on the court but off the court, basically tried to beat the system, bro. Like, and as far as Daryl Morey goes, how many times has James Harden lied to Daryl Morey with his play on the court in Houston? with everything that he's done in Houston, with everything that Daryl Morey that's done for him in Houston, this guy is he lied to you technically one time about you getting an extension, and then he went to the Philly front office and they said they weren't giving you the extension, and now that after they got you over there, I blame Philly more for that than anything, because Daryl Morey got hired to bring you over there, and he brought you over there, and you lied to him again with your play. You lied to him in Game 6 and Game 7 with your terrible play when you let Jason Tatum, who was the number 2, go off on you, bro, and outscore your team in the fourth quarter 16-5. You lied to him again in Game 7 when Doc Rivers played the song "Who Are You," and you didn't know who you were, and you still don't know who you are. So you've been lying to Daryl Morey for years, James. And now you want to get your way by going out to Kawhi, going out with Kawhi and PG, and the Clippers. Basically, I don't know what the Clippers are thinking, trying to even get the Clippers need to. That's another team that needs to take their franchise back, and that's been hold hostage by Kawhi and Ticker would say Kawhi. I would say more so him and Paul George collectively have been holding that team hostage basically since after 2019. It's been almost 4 years now. We literally went through the pandemic of them basically underachieving and not doing anything. And I'm trying to understand, why would you want to bring on another player that's just basically going to give you his ass to kiss and screw you over with all of his demands and everything, and he's not going to do anything for you. He's getting old, and he needs to go. It's just that simple. He's a piece of trash. Just like most of the stars of the 2010s, they all got away with stuff. And I'm gonna do a video on that later. You can see it on my page, Leaf 47. I'm gonna change it to the Evil Leaf. But
right.
Yeah, bro, like it's when is this stuff gonna end, man? Like they building super teams with a new CBA and trying to backdoor their way to getting out of stuff. Man, somebody got to tell the truth. PSP, man, you got to clean this up, man.
I don't know. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Man, listen, I think this has to be spoken on to a point where, it's just disgusting what James Harden is trying to do here, man. Like it's just all right. The Nets tell you, listen, KD and Kyrie wasn't doing nothing, so let's get up out of here. Let me put on a fat suit in Houston or whatever, and then get up out of here, go to the Brooklyn, and then I ain't really want to be in Brooklyn anyway, so let's go to whatchamacallit, and now we ain't got the tools to win over here, and Daryl Morey lied to me. That was just an excuse to cover up the fact that you failed Daryl Morey time and time again. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
He did lie to you, but you ain't need to use that as a crutch.
All right. Champ, how do you feel about James Harden, man?
Honestly, I have to agree with Leaf. Number one, Daryl Morey bought him everything he asked for when he was in Houston. Went and got him Dwight Howard. He failed.
Chris Paul.
Went and got him Chris Paul. He failed. Went and got him his old running buddy in Oklahoma City, Westbrook. Then when that didn't work, he turned from James Harden to James Hardy's. Eating them all-star breakfasts.
Yeah.
Turning into Fat Albert overnight. And I don't know what that was. Just to try to eat your way out of it. Damn, they ate his way out of the league, because you see his explosiveness is not there as much as it was before. I don't know if anybody noticed or not. And furthermore, I don't understand why you're trying to go to the Clippers anyway. Why are you trying to go to the Clippers?
He wants to be back home in Cali, and he would really want to go to Houston because of them strip clubs and no state income taxes. But
yeah. And FICA is real high out there in California, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yep. So, Harrison, how do you feel about James Harden? And we just lost Harrison. Brandon, how do you feel about James Harden?
Well, I'm tired of the Harden drama. I would love to see him in LA though, the Clippers though, PG and Kawhi, because they need somebody there, because PG and Kawhi always hurt. They injury prone as heck. And if you got James Harden there, I mean, that would be cool. I heard the trade was gonna be like James Harden, some picks. No, it was James Harden for Terrence Mann and some picks.
Yeah, I
And I
heard
thought that
about
was
that.
gonna be a good deal. I thought it was gonna be a good deal, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, Philly needs James Harden though. So yeah,
Who broke out that one? Was it Shams? Who broke that one, Brandon? About Terrence Mann and some
I
draft
think
picks?
it was the Athletic.
Yeah, Shams works for the Athletic. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
reading
yeah,
it right here. Oh yeah, okay.
yeah.
I don't know if Harrison is still there, but if Harrison's not there, then we'll probably move on to with
I'm
the
still
seven.
here. I just had to. I was
Oh,
just
okay,
looking at my
Harrison.
phone.
Uh,
Just
yeah,
all
go
I'm gonna
ahead. How do you
say
feel about
is,
James Harden?
man, I don't know, dude. Like, you said that he might go to the Clippers.
Yeah, it's reported that he could go to the Clippers.
Nah, he's coming to Charlotte. Fuck that shit. Honestly, I
Wait,
mean,
who is this now?
Harden.
Oh yeah, screw him. Yeah,
Yeah.
nah, he's coming to Charlotte. I mean, him and Lamelo
That's
be
he
crazy.
need to go. He need to go out there with the whiters at, bro. Like over in Taiwan.
Well, you
Wow.
did say that titties over titles. You did say that.
Yeah, Taiwan. From far as I'm concerned, Taiwan got plenty of those, man.
But
How
if
can I?
you
How can? Hold on.
but,
How can I forget? Kawhi better than Jimmy Butler too. But go on here.
yeah, when
Wow.
healthy.
Notice the question that I said to Brandon. I said coming into this season.
Oh
That
well.
meant that basically meant what they did in the previous season or the previous year or whatever coming into this season.
Okay.
And
Well,
he
during the
gave me
season.
and you gave me Jason Tatum at number 5, which
Yes. What?
I literally was my stomach just started bubbling the second you said it.
Jason Tatum does everything better than Jimmy.
All
Besides
right,
defense.
folks. We ain't bringing that subject anymore. Let's move on to something else. Leaf, I ain't trying to.
All right, yeah, you're cool. Yeah.
But if you do decide to trade James Harden, though, should you blow up the process, Leaf? Should you trade him B?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a little bit unfair to it's somewhat unfair to Joel. It's like a percentage of fairness to Joel because now it's almost like, yo, like when is he going to get healthy? When is he going to do this? At a certain point, we got to come to the conclusion that a guy is just going to keep getting hurt and just going to keep doing the same things he's been doing. How many times are we going to keep saying, yo, if he was healthy? How many times are we going to keep saying, yo, if he plays like this? How many times are we going to keep saying if he gets the conditioning right, bro? Like, it doesn't make any sense. We're going to keep giving them excuses and excuses and excuses. Just like we gave James Harden and Kevin Durant and all these other players that came up short in the previous year's excuses, and it's going to be an ongoing cycle. Me personally, if I'm Philly, even if I'm the Clippers, even I'm taking my franchise back. You gotta listen. Follow something from the my Nets and from the Portland Trailblazers, who basically just got a whole new lease on life by trading all the pieces away and getting exactly what they wanted. They wanted young players and draft capital. They basically got 2 of the runner-ups of starting centers, bro, like from Boston, who lost to the Warriors in the finals, and the Suns, who with DeAndre Ayton, who lost to the Bucks in the finals. That's basically 2 of the last starting 2 out of the last 3 starting 5 centers for losing teams in the finals, and they got them on one team, and they basically got a whole new lease on life with young players and draft capital. The thing we did, man, like when we got rid of Kevin Durant and Kyrie, bro, like we basically got rid of the stress. We got rid of the stress because these guys at this point in their career is not worth it. Kevin Durant, he played his first game with us post Achilles at the age of 32. How is that type of when has a player post Achilles led a team to anything? Never. It's never happened, and it never will happen. And these are the things that people have to follow, bro. Like they have to follow a blueprint on what it takes to build some type of thing with your team, because everybody can't do what LeBron James got away with. It's just that simple. And I think Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, they've tried and tried and tried in large percentage of times. And Kawhi's a champion, 2-time champion. Kevin Durant is a 2-time champion, but James Harden has tried and tried and tried to get his way, and it just has always backfired. And now with the Philadelphia 76ers, if they know, like Joe Tsai and the owner of the Portland Trail Blazers and their front office know, they will blow that damn thing up and take their franchise back and realize, man, like, listen, we got to do this thing. And it's plenty of good players in this league to start over quickly. You don't have to have a full reset. There's plenty of good players on the Portland Trail Blazers. Even though the Western Conference is stacked, they don't have a chance really at going anywhere. But they do have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
The Nets do have a chance, man. Like if you're looking for a team that has multiple defenders at each position to switch, look no further than the Brooklyn Nets.
All right. Champ, Harrison, Brandon, any last comments about the 76ers and should Embiid be traded?
No, sir.
My question to the panel, everyone here, is who would you trade Embiid to if you traded him? New York?
Yeah,
That's
That's a
the
damn
Knicks.
good question.
That got to be the Knicks.
Yeah.
Because I'm trading Julius Randle in a heartbeat.
Yeah, especially after you saw them sneakers from Skechers. I don't know if any of y'all saw them Skechers.
I don't think
sneakers,
I
but-
would do business with the Knicks. Just off the like just a team in your division. I don't think you want to do business with. I think trading Joel is more so for like I want to say Houston, probably maybe like a Houston or somewhere out in the West or something. But I if I'm the Sixers, I want to stay far away from Eastern Conference teams as possible because Joel is going to want to go to a contender. This is an MVP we talking about.
Okay.
It was a pity MVP, but it was an MVP nonetheless. But I mean,
Hey, dark horse, you do realize, hey, he used to love when Jimmy Butler was on his team.
Yep.
Something to think about.
That's
so
when
you
he
think
was
Miami? So is this the last chance for the
Yeah.
Miami Heat to like? Okay, yo, listen, we didn't make a move on Dame. We didn't make a move on other players and other players that we had on the list. Is this the opportunity for Pat Riley to wake his ass up and say, yo, listen, get Philly on the phone. We need Joel.
Hey,
It wouldn't.
he played at his best. He played at his best, arguably, when he was with Jimmy Butler, when Jimmy Butler was on the Philadelphia 76ers. And he loved the fact that Jimmy Butler held him accountable.
And plus, Philly made the mistake going with Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. All right, let's move on because we almost done wrapping up the show. We got to start, bench, or cut for an NBA one in their prime.
Ooh. You ain't playing fair with that one, brother.
Oh, this is easy.
All right,
easy.
Lee, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Jason Kidd, we starting him.
Wait,
What?
You starting Jason Kidd?
you starting Kid?
Absolutely starting Jason Kidd.
Is that because of his? That's because of his defense, right?
Absolutely. His defense and we talking about when we talk about Jason Kidd and his prime, we talking about somebody who could dominate the game strictly off of assists and defense, who could dominate a game. Like literally, we seen that. We seen it in his prime with the Nets when they made back-to-back finals. Literally, like we seen that. Well, no disrespect to Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul is overall the most well-rounded point guard on the list. But like if I had to start somebody on my team in a prime, I'm starting Jason Kidd. Bench, I got a bench CP and
Oh wow.
Steve Nash. I'm sorry, I gotta cut you because
Oh, wow.
listen, let's be real. Let's be honest. Steve Nash, Ben Simmons. I'm not. Excuse me. Shoot, I didn't say that. Edit that out. Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, all in the room, all in their primes. Steve Nash is not being taken before neither one of them. I'm sorry. So Steve Nash, man, like, yeah, gotta cut you, bro. If Mars
right.
and any of the analytic boys was here, bro, they'd be like, oh, "Are you kidding? Who's better at basketball?"
Damn, you cut the 2-time MVP. That's hard to do, brother.
World
It
champ, who
is.
you got, man?
That's difficult. I gotta start Steve Nash. Gotta start him. At his peak, I mean, if it hadn't been for the San Antonio Spurs, he leaves out of his prime with 2 rings. If it wasn't for the Spurs,
I think he gets to the finals.
he leaves out with 2 rings. So
I think he gets to the finals. That 2 rings, that might be a stretch.
well, no, it's really not, because you gotta realize, they was playing to get, by the time they got to Detroit, that team was kind of going into disarray at that point because they didn't know whether Larry Nixtown Brown was going to leave or not, because all of those rumors about New York. And I think that's what ultimately cost him the finals as well, because he was so much of a distraction. So
That is true.
uh,
That is true.
I got to start Nash. And people forget about the Dallas years too. He was great at Dallas. Bitch and Jason Kidd, I'm cutting the point guard. Sorry.
Woo! That's a tough one, man.
Y'all smoking on catnip.
Yeah, I mean,
Brandon, you want to go?
hey, he's had some of the great. He's been on some of the most great teams. He's been on the Lob City. Never went past the semifinals with that. Now, granted, everybody's gonna bring up the Donald Sterling and everything like that. I mean, in the best ability, and people don't understand this. Even with work, with your regular job, the best ability is availability. Where are you at when we need you the most? Game 7, they had a chance to beat the Golden State Warriors. He's hurt. I'm not so sure they beat the Golden State Warriors repeat if he's out there.
And we got to mention we have to go to 2015 because
That
they blow
3-1.
it. They blow a 3-1 lead, which basically was the domino effect to start the Warriors dynasty.
Exactly.
Leaf, to put it also in further context, Game 6, the Clippers did have a 17-19 point lead. James Harden was benched in the 4th quarter. Mind you, this is the same James Harden was the runner-up for the league MVP.
Yes.
And it took every bit of Jason Terry, Corey Brewer, Dwight Howard, all the other players from the Houston Rockets to come back from a 19-point deficit and won. Now we can look at that's on CP3's legacy. We can also look at that with Doc Rivers. That's on his legacy as well. As
well, I kind of want to. I got a question about that. Can we use the first round series against the Spurs as kind of like a damage control type of series? Like because that series did go 7 games and it was one.
That was
of the
a very
best,
competitive series.
That was one of the best series I ever seen. And I said, I remember saying during that time, and I was watching the game with my brother and my dad. I was like, and I said the winner of this series is definitely going to lose in the second round no matter what, because both teams are spent. And it kind of reminded me of the Celtics Bulls series back in 2009 when KG was out, and it was basically Rondo. The ascension of Rondo, playoff Rondo was kind of born, and that was a rookie D Rose, and I said the winner of that series is not going past the next round. And so is that? Do you think that was more of like a war of attrition for that Lob City team? Like that it was kind of writing on the wall, like, yo, even though they was up 3-1, somehow, some way they wasn't gonna pull that out.
I thought they were gonna pull it out, man, but they just choked. But I got to give credit to Houston at the end of the day for coming back from that 19-point deficit.
That's
and then they responded in Game 7, and Harden did play well in Game 7 in order for them to close the series. But so, champ, you have start Steve Nash, bench Jason Kidd and cut CP3. Just want to make sure you have
Yes,
that
sir.
in that order. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Brandon, who you got?
I'm starting CP3. I'm benching Nash and I'm cutting Kidd.
Oh wow, damn, y'all horrible.
Oh,
Okay. Why is that, Brandon?
I think Chris Paul was just a better overall player than both of them. Playmaking and all that, and he can defend. Of course, he like haven't won a chip or anything like that, but we got to put into context and stuff. Like he's been hurt for 1 year. They would have won. They went to the finals if he wasn't hurt.
He choked a lot of other years too by being healthy.
Yeah. Well, the Steve Nash, really, I've been always watching film on Steve Nash and stuff, and that dude was just tough. He was real tough, and I think he was just better than Kidd.
He benefited from a rule change actually.
You think he benefited from the rule change, or do you think he benefited from Mike D'Antoni's system?
Both. And I think and listen, if you don't want to take my word on it, just go ask Jeremy Lin.
Harrison, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just
start bench or cut. Jason, you have with Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, Steve Nash in their prime. Who you starting, benching, or in cutting?
For me, I'm starting CP3.
Okay.
I'm benching oh damn. Wait, Steve Nash and
Jason Kidd.
Okay. I'm benching Steve Nash and I'm cutting Kidd.
Ooh, okay. And for me, I'm gonna start CP3. I like him. I think he was the most complete player because offensively he can hit the three. He wasn't a great 3-point shooter, but an adequate 3-point shooter. Great mid-range game. The nasty handle. He could pass. He can also defend. Even though there are times he's come up short in the playoffs, I will say this with Chris Paul: as he got older, he was able to make teams competitive. You saw what he did in OKC the first year during the bubble. It took 7, and they lost in that series to Houston. You look at a couple of years in Phoenix. First year they made the finals, and then of course the following year against the Dallas Mavericks. Worst way to show up in a game 7. But CP3, I just like the skill. Just on the eye test, I think he was the more complete player than those two because he gave you both offense and defense. I'm gonna go with CP3.
Well, I think there's some context missing from the.
What's that, Leaf?
Well, that Suns run, bro. Like everybody would tell you that they played against a lot of injured teams to get there, and I mean, which was kind of the truth. But I mean, because if AD doesn't get injured, they're not winning that series. I'm sorry. Same thing with the what was it, the second round series? They didn't see Jamal Murray, but they did manage to beat Denver in 4. And then the third series they didn't see Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George was just giving it his all. Like that's the one series where I seen Paul George literally give it his all, literally give his absolute everything that he had, and that still wasn't enough because there was no Kawhi Leonard. And the only to make it to the finals to basically be up 2-0 and then get a gentleman's sweep by arguably one of the worst offensive teams to ever win a championship. Like that is a dumbass offensive team.
But Leaf, every single team that Chris Paul has been on, they've been better. I mean, Lob City, they weren't Lob City until they had him. Yes, they had Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, but they needed a facilitator to make those types of passes. And who could you find better? It was supposed to be CP3 to the Lakers, but then Commissioner Stern, rest his soul.
We can't hear you.
Me? You can't hear me, Champ?
Champ.
Yeah, we can't hear you, bro.
Me
Oh,
or
me?
me or
Me?
Leaf?
You talking about me or
We can't hear
PSP?
PSP. We can't hear you, bro.
No, I
Oh,
can
I
hear
can hear.
PSP.
I
oh,
I
hear
can
him.
okay,
hear.
okay. Oh,
You
I'm
can
sorry,
hear?
my fault.
Damn,
Yeah, I can hear.
Oh, my fault.
damn. Let
But
me refresh.
it's all good. Don't worry about that,
Now
champ.
you was talking about the Clippers, the
Yeah,
Lob City thing.
right. And I'm saying every single year when Chris Paul is on the team, he makes them better. Phoenix, they had a chance. They had their chance in the bubble. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. But when CP3 was there, he was, I mean, the leader. I mean, you could say whatever you want as a teammate. He may not be the greatest teammate in the world, but as far as making guys around him better and still playing at an elite level at a certain age, I think I kind of give him that in just terms of eye and skill tests. So I'm gonna give CP3 the edge. I think he was a good enough 3-point shooter. He can handle the ball. I think he has the best handle amongst Nash. You could argue Kid, but I think CP3, I would give him the slight edge. Passer between the three, that's tough though. Like as a passer.
I'm gonna give the edge to Jason Kidd. Even though Steve Nash, son's years was a bit of an outlier. I'm not gonna say that he wasn't a great passer. I just think that Steve Nash benefited a lot from a rule change. Outside of that, he was a good point. He was a very good point guard. In Dallas at a time where the point guard pool. If you could give me the top 5 point guards in during that time when he was in Dallas in them last couple of years before he got in them early 2000s, outside of him and Jason Kidd, I would gladly tell you, and somebody's probably gonna say Stephon Marbury, but I gladly award somebody the Steve Nash like moniker. You know what I'm saying? Because the pool of point guards during that time, it just wasn't, that just wasn't the type of league that it was back then. It was a 2 guard heavy league. You had the AIs, the Kobe's, the T Max, the Vince Carters, the Allen Houstons, the Ray Allens. The list goes on. And then the power forward position, we all know how stacked that was with Garnett, Rasheed, C. Webb, Duncan, just to name those who, and basically Shaq basically dominating the center position. So I mean,
But I would go with go ahead.
realistically, Steve Nash basically like somewhat not only benefited from a rule change, but he benefited from like by the time he became an all-star with Dallas, he somewhat benefited from the fact that there really wasn't other point guards around outside of Jason Kidd.
Not really much. Not in terms of the playing style. No, I don't think so. But I'm gonna go start CP3. I'm gonna bench J Kidd and I'm gonna cut Nash. That's a tough one for me, but I'm gonna go with that one. So anyway, let's do a football one. Now this is gonna be an interesting one right here.
Oh,
Oh my
Oh,
Jesus!
Lord.
oh,
Wait, who is that?
I got a
Not
bad
Marcus
stomach.
Russell, but
I
is
got a
that
bad. That's
I
Ryan
know,
Leaf.
I know that Jamarcus
That's
Russell,
got to
but
be
who?
Ryan Leaf.
Yes, that is Ryan Leaf on the right.
Oh,
I'm back.
nothing more worse than Jamarcus Russell.
it's let's just be honest. It's
The
Jamarcus
Marcus
Russell.
Russell was just lazy. Like there's a saying that goes, bro. Like, and he had talent. There's a saying that goes, hard work beats talent that doesn't work hard. And I listen. It's a saying that I've heard many years ago. Jamarcus Russell was very lazy. He was just. Yeah, you talk about hardening the fat suit, bro. Like this dude here, man. Oh God, this was
Let's not
as
forget
Stephen.
them blank tapes, them blank DVDs.
Yeah, them blank DVD. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. And Stephen A. will refer to him as
Jabba the Hutt.
a job of the hut, and yeah, and everything. So I hope someday we could get a thorough reason why Jamarcus Russell didn't do anything or didn't pan out. It seems like
He was
it seems to
also
me It seems to me like a 30 for 30 documentary coming soon, bro. Like that's all it is. But Ryan Leaf obviously was a piece of trash, but he played. But Jamarcus Russell just ugh.
And to Jamarcus Russell, he was dealing with a lot of personal problems at the time, losing two of his uncles, Uncle Ray and Uncle Mike. I saw this on Flemlo Raps. He does a great job providing great context. He said both of them were like father figures for Jamarcus. And then once they were gone, it went from downhill with Jamarcus. And it took such an emotional toll on him. That's why his weight kept ballooning. I mean, he showed up at training camp over 300 pounds. And you're talking about a quarterback that's already big enough, that's looking just as big as an offensive lineman. But two things were true. DeMarcus Russell, he was dealing with some personal problems, but I also think that he didn't take football as seriously as he should have. It was his former teammate, Kirk Morrison. He was on the Rich Eisen show, and he talked about a story in which the Raiders staff handed Jamarcus blank DVDs, further validating that Jamarcus Russell was not preparing, was not studying film. And he even told them, yeah, I watched all the films, I watched all the tapes when the DVDs were blank. So, I mean, it's bad. And then Ryan Leaf with number 1, number 2 pick. I mean, of course, 98, Peyton Manning. Where the Colts had the first pick, they decided to go with Peyton because the Manning, Tennessee. Ryan Leaf did admit it. I think it was on draft. During the time of the draft, he said he would like to go to Vegas and spend a week at Vegas if he were drafted. And he just didn't take football career that seriously as well. And he was also going through some problems as well. And God bless him. But Champ, how do you feel? Who's the bigger bust?
Jamarcus Russell. I really believe. Here's what I believe, and here's the hot take for me. Another hot take. The only reason why Ryan Leaf was considered a huge bust was because Peyton Manning got drafted first overall. I've seen more quarterbacks. I'm just being real. Todd Marinovich, Jeff George, just to name a few. I've seen a lot more quarterbacks that was worse than Ryan Leaf that got drafted in the first round, that got drafted first overall. I've seen plenty. We've seen plenty of them. And I really believe because of that draft class, because not only did Peyton Manning go first, you had Randy Moss. He was in that draft. Charles Woodson was in that draft. There was just at least about 4 or 5 Hall of Famers that was in that draft. Same thing with Tony Manders. They don't consider him a huge bust. The reason they consider him a huge bust is because, Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders, Derek Thomas and Broderick Thomas and Troy Aikman went in the first couple of picks. But the only reason why people consider Ryan Leaf a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell, the only reason why you would consider that was because of what Peyton Manning became. Other than that, Jamarcus has to be the bigger bust. You got drafted first overall to go to the Raiders, number 1. That's a very, very renegade organization as it is. And you just didn't produce. You didn't produce at all.
He didn't. In his last year, I think he had 3 touchdowns to 11 interceptions his final year in Oakland. And not only that, also want to give shout out to Lane Kiffin because he admitted before the draft, he tried to convince Al Davis, God rest his soul, he wanted Calvin Johnson with the first overall pick. But Al Davis saw Jamarcus's performance in the Sugar Bowl game against Notre Dame. And from there, Al Davis decided to win in and go with Jamarcus. But
wait a second. You mean to tell me a Sugar Bowl game from Jamarcus Russell was the common denominator from him to Megatron?
Yes. Lane Kiffin said at the time he wanted Calvin Johnson. He wanted Calvin Johnson out of Georgia Tech. The 6'5", 230-pound receiver who ran a 4.3. He wanted him instead of Jamarcus Russell. But according to Lane Kiffin, and he said it, Leaf, and you can go check it out on YouTube whenever you want, Al Davis saw Jamarcus's performance in the Sugar Bowl game against Notre Dame. And from there, he wanted Jamarcus. And plus, Jamarcus at that time, he was the consensus choice for the number 1 overall pick. Todd McShay, Mel Kiper, all these draft experts said the best pro day that they ever saw was Jamarcus Russell out of LSU. 6'6", 260, 265 pounds, launching a football on his knees 60, 65 yards. That's how immensely talented Jamarcus was, and he just did not take football all that seriously. And then we started hearing about all the other problems that he had with codeine and everything else. So yeah, that was actually true, man. So Harrison, bigger bus, Jamarcus
It's Jamarcus Russell. It's Jamarcus Russell.
and Brandon. Brandon.
Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell, bro. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. All right, so let's move on to something else besides sports. Let's talk about some TV.
Oh, you dirty. Oh, you yeah. You. Oh man.
Dang, this is tough.
PSP,
Jesus.
you going down for this? You
I
going
go down for
this.
everything. It's nothing new to me.
Oh man.
God damn.
I'm gonna have to go with Martin, but not that. It's just that I never thought, bro. Like even though that the show was real, both shows had real moments and real, but like Martin basically was a show. Like I in the show, like with Martin and Gina, I never seen a man more in love with a woman than I seen in that show. Like and that displayed that in the 90s and in the 90s. You could argue that, listen, outside of Eddie Murphy, who was the best comedian and who was the funniest guy on TV outside of Martin in the 90s?
Marty Marr.
Exactly. And a backstory about Shanae was that was just Martin making fun of his blood sister. that was a backstory about the Shanae character. Yeah, so but obviously Will Smith is the bigger actor, obviously still to this day it had more longevity, but in that 90s, I don't think there was a funnier show on television than Martin during that early 90s and mid 90s period, man. Like you're talking Martin literally ran the 90s outside of Eddie Murphy, man. Like in terms of comedians and the market for comedians to basically have what they had during that time, and obviously going to the Dave Chappelle's and where it went to, bro. Martin ran the gauntlet 10 times over, bro. Like it was basically Usain Bolt. That's basically what it was, bro. Martin Lawrence. Shout out to Martin, man. Shout out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, man. And yeah, everybody know how I feel about Will Smith, man. Like we ain't gonna bring that up. So,
Champ, how do you feel? Which one you taking?
Martin, man. I watched it, man, and I have a reason for that. My whole family used to meet when that show came on. Not just my mom and my dad, my uncle, my grandma. We all used to go to my grandma's house to watch that at night.
Wow.
So that's how big that show was. And our family lived all spread out all sort of town. But when it was time for Martin to come on, everybody came over to grandma's house to watch Martin. So I got to go with Martin, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going Martin too.
Harrison?
Damn, I'm gonna be the only one. I'm picking the Prince of Bel-Air.
Which is not ridiculous though. That's not ridiculous.
I watch a little bit of the French Prince of Bel-Air. I never watched Martin. I always love the theme song of the French Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, facts.
It's so good.
I'm gonna pick Martin because of all the reasons that we've said. But if there's one episode from the Fresh Prince I love the most, Papa's Got a Brand New Excuse. That was the episode when Will finally met his father after abandoning him and his mom. And then late in the scene, Will and James Avery, that was a wonderful scene. And Will talked about that scene. He always wanted to get James Avery's approval. And then when you saw this, and then after the scene, Will, according to Will, James Avery, he's hugging him. he whispers in Will's ear and he says, "Now that's fucking acting. That's fucking acting." And that's like one of my favorite scenes from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was a huge one.
That
But,
was a great scene, but
Yeah.
you know, Will Smith was still a salamander. So
oh man, let that go.
I'm not.
Man, y'all
It's
know that James Avery, he played the Shredder on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too,
He
right?
sure did. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah, I remember that.
Damn.
Yep. And
I don't know
Will
how, I almost forgot that, but I do remember that he did.
and Will talked about how great James Avery was as an actor before Will was like messing up on the scene, and then James Avery yelled at him, was like, "Hey, use me, get it together." And then yeah, I mean James Avery was great. I mean Uncle Phil, he's
R.I.P.
like the
Uncle
type.
Phil, man.
Yeah, rest in peace. He was like the type of father a lot of people would love to have. A lot of people would love to have.
Like that was a stand-up guy, man.
Absolutely. So we're gonna talk about another subject right here. If you have a choice, which place to eat?
Oh man, this is disgusting.
Oh, God.
I don't know if
No, it's disgusting, bro. Because I already know the answer, bro, and like it's obviously White Castle, man. Them chicken rings, and them fries with the cheese, them wavy curl fries with the cheese, man. Oh man, can't
Bro,
get enough of them.
let me tell you something. I ain't tell you this before we got started. You know we ain't even got no damn White Castle down south, bro. We got the crystals down.
Yeah, I'm from the South too. I mean, we have like
Yeah.
Freddy's here and stuff.
Yeah.
You got the
PDQ.
crystals.
Yeah. I got Burger King, bro.
I got Burger King, but it's still disgusting. I mean, if you put PDQ on there, PDQ is definitely winning.
Well, I didn't want to put. I mean, I was before I put out this one.
PSP,
it was
you gotta
either-
come to the South, bro.
I will eventually. I will, man. I
I ain't
will.
gonna lie, that shit is gross.
But look, I don't eat fast food like that anymore. But if I had a choice between Burger King or White Castle, I'm probably leaning towards White Castle. I don't like Burger King. My mom ordered Burger King yesterday, and she ended up spending the rest of the night in the restroom. I told her, "Hey, that's on you for ordering that Burger King." I told her.
That's a damn shame, bro. But it's true though.
I apologize, bro. I ain't need to laugh like that. I ain't laughing.
Yeah, I mean, but nah, he ain't lying about that. But the thing about White Castles, they got what we call sliders. You know what I'm saying? And you could just paint the picture about like if you eat one too many of them, basically you're gonna have like an incident. So like, I mean, the cheese fry. I'm in the bathroom, and then the cheese.
What the hell going on in Miami, bro? What the hell?
I had to get a paper towel. My bad. But we moving on, man. We moving on. But yeah, man. White Castles is probably the go-to for the tri-state area. So like, high fives.
Oh my god!
Man,
All right.
oh my god, what the hell?
Yeah, damn, you got two crying in the
I meant to mute my mic. I meant to mute my mic. When I said
Bro,
that,
what the
man.
hell with that, bro?
All right, and we got one last one, and we're gonna end this one. This is an NFL one right here.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Which one? Which one?
You already know which one I'm taking.
Oh god.
He's dying. Damn, that's a tough one.
Is that the 89 or the 88
Peyton
49?
Manning, though. That's the thing, because he.
I think it was the 89 49ers champ.
I'm taking 89 Niners over every last one of them.
No, this is quarterback. Which quarterback you want? My fault.
Oh,
Give you some context. Which quarterback you want? You want Peyton? You want Mahomes? You want Rodgers? Or you want Montana?
Montana.
Okay. Leaf. All right,
Everybody know who I'm taking, bro. Like
He's
this not
using the
even a
piece.
question.
He has to use some
Oh, he
paper.
wants Aaron Rodgers. He wants Aaron Rodgers.
Nah. I'm cool. I'm dead serious. I'm already out the barrel.
What?
Yo,
You sound like you've been over there eating White Castle, goddamn. What the hell is this?
Brandon, please answer the question.
oh God.
What the hell?
I'm crying.
You know what? We may have to end this one. Should we end it?
No, let's finish strong. Let's finish strong, PSP.
Yo, who over here died?
All right. Let's calm down, man. Come on, calm down.
I'm
Calm
sorry.
down.
Okay.
Let's
Yo,
calm
who
it
over
down.
here
Come on.
dying, bro? It gotta be jail.
Let's calm it down. Come on. Come on. Let's get back into character. But all right, but in terms of Jesus Christ. In terms of who had the oh man.
Go ahead, Lee, please.
In terms of who had the better Super Bowl performance, at least that's what I thought you was going with.
No, which quarterback? If all the quarterbacks you want, which one you want?
I want A-Rod. I want that 2010 A-Rod. 2010, 2011 A-Rod.
Oh, shit.
No, in their prime, wherever you want.
That
Lee.
was this prime. Yeah, 2010, 2011 A-Rod.
All right, fine. Brandon.
Give me the one with that Peyton Manning one wasn't bad at all though. But,
It wasn't actually, but it wasn't A-Rod though.
yeah.
They was playing a great defense, by the way. They played Brian
True.
Urlacher in that Bears, That Bears defense, yeah.
The one I remember though, I'm going Peyton Manning.
All right, wait a minute, Brandon. You want Peyton Manning of all the quarterbacks over Rodgers, Mahomes?
Exactly. Peyton Manning ruined my football life, honestly.
Brandon, we're talking about which quarterback you want. Which quarterback you want?
Wait, how did he ruin your football life? What's that
Which
about?
quarterback you want?
Which quarterback you want in their prime? Just to give you some context.
I think that
which
you might have
quarterback
blamed that
you
on Von
want?
Miller.
Oh man, now it's more tough.
Good shit.
Listen, this can't be that tough, bro. There ain't no Tom Brady up here, so it's kind of.
I mean, nah. That man Patrick Mahomes, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like that.
Well,
that
Mahomes kind of got away with murder in his 2 Super Bowl wins, but realistically, I don't think he realistically dominated neither one, bro. Like,
you know what? Nah, give me Joe Montana, bro.
When I'm looking at these pictures, I'm
going by my list.
A dominant performance on the bottom left. I don't remember the performance on the bottom right. A pretty good performance.
We're not talking about Super Bowl performances. We're talking about in their prime. In their prime.
Okay, yeah.
It's either Montana.
You said you wanted Aaron Rodgers, Leaf.
Yeah, I do want Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I mean, it's either Montana or Mahomes to me.
All right. So Champ and Brandon went with Montana. Leaf went with Rodgers. Harrison, who do you have?
Okay. Okay. Peyton Manning ruined my football life after Super Bowl 50, so I'm not picking that man. Fuck him. Rodgers could be debatable. Mahomes, I mean, yeah, Brandon, I'm going with you. I'm going with you. I'm going with Montana.
All right. And for now, I'm gonna go with Montana, but Mahomes coming. Mahomes is coming. So anyway, folks, that concludes the rest of the sport. What? Mahomes is coming.
He said it's coming. I was like, pause.
No, coming as in terms of being the next great quarterback.
We done did enough. We done did enough in the
We
past
did
5
enough.
minutes.
We done heard about folks shitting in the bathroom. I'm about done for the night, bro.
Why did that have to come up during that Burger King and White Castle thing, bro? I don't know.
What the hell? Don't
Why did that have to
hey,
come
I'ma
up
just
during
be
that
real with you,
time?
man. Don't nobody, as far as White Castle and the Crystal, don't nobody want them damn gas burgers, man. That's what my father used to call them shit, them
Yeah,
damn gas
that's
burgers.
what they was, gas burgers. And they
Yeah.
absolutely was that, brother. If you got them on a late night, best believe it, your morning was
Oh,
like
shit.
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very.
Okay.
Your mornings was
I'm
very,
crying.
very, very different,
All
bro.
right. All right, folks. That concludes the rest of the Sports PSP podcast. Fellas, any last words? Leaf, I'm gonna let you go first. Tell them where to follow you.
Yes, follow me at youtube.com. That's Leaf4788. I will be doing more on the my Brooklyn Nets thing this year, man. Very excited about this team. Obviously, I'm also a Green Bay Packers fan. I'm trying to do more content on that. The first NBA preseason is here. We got our first game. October 9th is going to be against the Los Angeles Lakers. That ought to be a good one to see how well this team has been doing and what strides we're going to take. If you're looking for multiple defenders, if you're looking for guys that could defend on each level and turn defense into offense, bro, like what better team to watch than the Brooklyn Nets, bro? Like I just don't know. Like me personally. So yes, Leaf4788. And I'm also back on Instagram. That's Leaf_4788 as
All
well.
right.
So you can hit me up on that too.
Champ, where to follow you at, man?
TikTok, Undisputed World Champ, and Instagram, World Champ 2.0.
Okay. Harrison, tell them where to follow you.
Follow me on TikTok. It's right here, by the way. And also follow me on Twitter. Same username as well. Follow me on Instagram. Same username minus the underscore. And hopefully David Tepper can sell this freaking team pretty soon.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Wow.
And Brandon.
Oh yeah. Follow me on Instagram, BBen923. TikTok, BBen923. Follow my YouTube, Brandon from the Block. My own show, the Throwdown Podcast. Every Monday, 7:00 Eastern Time. Also, Wednesdays, I'll be starting 2 shows a week. On Wednesdays, basketball shows. So yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So if y'all
that's
want to
what's up.
pop out,
Basketball season is back, man. This is the
Yeah.
best time of the year, man. Like this is the one time of the year we got. I think all 4 sports is going on. So I mean, obviously we basketball, football fans, but if you guys are baseball fans, the World Series is about to get started. The playoffs is about to get started in baseball.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lakers
Go
in
ahead, Brandon.
6. Lakers in 6. And
Lakers,
Celtics.
nah. Celtics.
neither one of
Celtics in
them.
4.
Oh my God, it's just two trust fund teams. We don't need them.
And as you know me, folks, you know Sports PSP. You know where to follow me at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Also, please like and subscribe to the Sports PSP podcast. Appreciate everyone for hopping on. Hopefully, we're about to end the show right now so that Leaf has enough time using the restroom.
I did.
Sell some damn gas burgers, you'll be all right.
Nah. Well, actually, I didn't. Actually, I ate pretty well tonight. I had what I had.
Bro was taking a Bears real quick. I don't know.
Nah. That's the thing. The food didn't really kick in just yet, bro. Like I like kind
of. Okay.
And for that is
that it's time for me to go to bed. I'm gonna holler at y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, y'all.
Damn.